The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. I represent Bahamian people. I from Nassau, Bahamas, big up Bintan, bro. Where I from Bintan, bro. Right between West and Augusta, where them two roads meet, they call it Wilkinson Street. Manners and respect was like a sign blank check. It seems the ones that coming after quick to disrespect. You see, this life in the ghetto never easy. So many hungry days break till it grieve me. Way I doing the best I can, trying to turn my dollar to 100 grand. I represent the ghetto people. I from Nassau, Bahamas, big up Bintan, bro. Where I from Bintan, bro. Don't take no back talk, no bribe or no joke. If you find fire, you definitely find smoke. Bintan, bro. Where I from Bintan, bro. Bintan, I say.
Good night, Bahamas, and welcome to Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. I am your host, Valentino Brown, aka Scrooge or Daddy, host of the talk show Inside Inner City that premieres every Friday at 6:30 to 8 p.m. except holidays. Telephone numbers tonight are 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259, and you can text us, powered by BTC, at 422-GR96. And again, it's always a pleasure to be a host on this wonderful Friday, and I thank each and every one of you who listen to Guardian Radio, to the different topics we have, to different hosts, Sinuri, Haven Green, Naughty by Nature, Chihuahua Line. Just incredible. You know, we have a lot of information on cool. Just a tremendous show. A little while riding to the studio and listen at home on my TV. Such an interesting show with Naughty and Cool and Mr. Elsoy Johnson, former Minister of Immigration. So we are getting live information from persons who hold these positions in government. We are seeing the former Deputy Prime Minister of the Free National Movement, Brent Simonet. He was in charge of foreign affairs, and he gave his 2 cents as well. You know, country is it's in a tailspin. You know, I said it like about 3 weeks ago, after the by-election, how it was so close, and it came down to more poison voting against the government in the constituency of Golden Isles, even though the government won. But when you look at the numbers, you could see 300 went to the Coalition of Independents, and then there are 6 or 7 votes that went to the female independent candidate. That vote, if it was just 2 parties, we probably would have seen a close contest. You know, it was very close, but I mean a close contest in that constituency of Golden Isles. You know, as much emphasis was put on the area by the 2 major parties. I mean, the 3 major parties, at least the 3 major parties and 2 major parties and one in between third party, which looking to gain traction in the country, which is doing their PR, informing the Bahamian people on many of the topics they themselves talk about. But it's good in the country because now we have so much different information coming in from so many different angles. It gives us a sense of what's going on in our country behind closed door, despite the greatest effort of our government to explain to the general public on the immigration policy, especially the migrants bill, you know, which was passed in Senate Monday of this week. And, you know, many people was referring to the amnesty, and, you know, boy, it's crazy. I said that with the close contest in Golden Isles by election, this would dictate on how MPs are going to act to the Bahamian people and how the Prime Minister and his cabinet ministers and the members of parliament of these constituencies, how they're going to act. Because you could see that somewhere the Bahamian people are very irate because, we've been fighting for equal rights and justice. We've been looking to be treated fairly, especially with our hospital and the condition in our hospitals, etc. Poverty, crime, and immigration, especially this bill, migrant bill, that was passed in Senate previous Monday. This kind of get people really, really upset. And we just had this by-election a few weeks ago. And I said on the show that all MPs in the government party, from the Prime Minister, the Deputy Prime Minister, goes to the Minister of Being, Grandstand, to all the ministers in government, have to be on their best behavior on how they address the Bahamian people, because you could see it was a close, contested by-election that went down. So it shows you that the frustration is building in the country, and either the two major parties have to do their best to please the Bahamian people, be truthful, show integrity, But at this stage right now, with this migrant bill that was just passed in Senate, it has many Bahamian questioning the government because, it's just that you want to believe, but you can't believe because it's so close to election. And there's been so much talk about the immigration department, especially the director getting fired. And we have not heard nothing from the minister responsible for immigration. We have heard from the Minister of National Security. We have heard from the Prime Minister. We have heard from a lot of the former members of Parliament and the Free National Movement. We heard Mr. Johnson, and he gave us a mouthful, and just a mouthful. It's hard for us to believe what the government's saying, despite their best effort. And then, to us, how you present yourself to us, we think of the box, there was a certain, let me see, when the uproar started, many people was looking at the amnesty part of the bill. And, we saw the Minister of National Security came on and they took it out. And once that was did, the Minister of National Security responded, and he said that, they heard the cries of the Bahamian people, and there was no need to take it out because it's all law. There ain't nothing in there that is giving no one no amnesty. And when he said that, it gives one to think if they truly was sincere or telling the truth. You can't blame us for questioning when, we questioned something that just came about out of nowhere. It was in the books, listening to the previous administration, Mr. Johnson, explaining his knowledge of the incident. So it's crazy, It's crazy, many people are just saying, just because the election, the party is selling out our country, that's what everyone is talking, people are upset, because this is the talk, this is all over the streets in Nassau, New Providence, this is nothing new. I live inside the inner city, and this is nothing new. So I don't know what we're going to do as a country, but, it has gone through. But I heard the opposition leader, Michael Pintard. I'm going to play one clip from the Prime Minister and one clip from Michael Pintard. Then I want to play something that the former Prime Minister, Hubert Alexander Minnis, spoke on corruption and how much money we lose in corruption, how much money we lose murders happening in the country, and what that money could be used for, So, and then I want to not talk about it too long. Then I want to talk about a comment that the Prime Minister made in the National Guardian concerning our young men are in crisis, and I want to knock on that and tie in the corruption that former Prime Minister Hubert Alexander Minnis talked about and show you how everything ties in. So I'm going to play the clip and then give a little comment. Then I'll play the next clip from the opposition leader. And then we continue the show.
In 2022, Madam Speaker, at the Summit of Americas, the CARICOM countries were asked and being pressured to sign a declaration signed by other nations. Well, 20 of them signed it. 20 nations in our region eventually signed a declaration agreeing to accept migrants into their country, particularly those from Venezuela, Nicaragua, Haiti. That's what was being put by the American government under President Biden. And when my colleagues, when they were signing it, they said, "Brave, you're not signing it." I said, I'm not signing it. I did not agree to sign it because our conditions and positions are completely different from theirs. And my first duty was to our citizens and to those who are here lawfully. So we didn't sign on to that declaration because I understand what my duties are to my country and my people. A lot of my colleagues look at me with scorn's eyes. They say, "But you're saying no?" They're saying no. Hell no.
Yes, that was the comment of the Prime Minister in response leading up to this big debate about the migrants bill. And, when this was said, by the pressure of the people, the opposition, coalition of independents, political party, they move a section blocking charges for illegal landing from smuggling is removed. So when the Bahamian people were saying, "What is this?" and start to outcry, their government was saying it's one thing, people questioned it, and they came back and they took a cause with it, So let me just read it. The Progressive Liberal Party has removed a controversial cause from the smuggling of migrants bill that would have protected smuggled migrants from certain types of prosecution. The cause would have protected them from prosecution for illegal entry, illegal stay, or possession fundamental fraudulent documents if those actions were directly caused by being smuggled. The bill passed the House of Assembly after the government party retreated from the provision which critics said would have weakened the immigration enforcement. National Security Van Monroe, who led debate on the bill, acknowledged concerns about the cause and spent much of his contribution outlining the bill's structure while responding to opposition critics. So, there's much to be questioned, and you can't blame the Bahamian people, for the questions because we are suffering in the country as it is now. And if people are smuggling the country or come here illegally, and, I know the laws we sign under CARICOM, that is there that said if persons come here illegally, they're treated, if they're pregnant or they need medical health and all that, et cetera, yes. But we as a country now, we all feel it, we all see it. We live in the inner city communities and we see the growing demand of poverty. And the growing demand of poverty is because a lot of money is leaving out the country. A lot of Bahamians are out of work. A lot of the money and works, small business and stuff like that is being taken over by individuals who don't have no license, who have 30-day shops set up in the inner city communities around Nassau. And they take this opportunity to create a revenue, and many of the funds are sent out of the country. It affects us with our health care because we have individuals by law that states that if individuals are here, we have to give them health care. And because of that, even though they say we are a country of 400,000 Bahamians, we have overcrowded prison, we have overcrowded hospital that cannot sustain the growing demand of patients who are chronically ill in this country because our health care is also in crisis because we have high diabetes, we have high cancer, we have high sexually transmitted disease. It's crazy in our country, so we're going to stay with chronically ill diseases in our country. And with the screen of immigrants and continue bombardment of people looking for better life in the country, we cannot sustain this. Some of our leaders feel that, it's not affecting them, and maybe they say it's election time. Like I said, they know a lot of Bahamians who are natural-born Bahamians in this country are not going to the polls to vote because, regular Bahamians are just fed up and they feel that they are being abandoned, and they feel both political parties have done little to improve their lives, so they ain't even checking, they just living day to day. But things like this going on when they feel that the government, I don't know if that's the government intent, but we all feel that some way, somehow, that it's a little sketchy. We can't trust what they're saying because, like I said, they took a cause out of the bill. The bill was passed, but it was under the scrutiny of the response of the press, response of political parties, response of Bahamians around the country and worldwide, saying what is that our government is trying to do. Some people say that the bill is legit, that it protects the rights, protects the Bahamas government to go after smugglers who are ended in the Bahamas and using the Bahamas waters to transfer narcotics and human smugglers to United States of America. And I listened to the minister saying that there's no law in the books that we could go after these individuals. So this bill is designed to go after these individuals no matter where they go, as long as the crime is committed in the Bahamas. Because I can understand that, but this is an agreement we signed. If you notice, when we saw the American gentleman got locked up with a lot of assault rifles, and he was brought before the court, and he ended up paying a $1.some million fine. He gave his excuse because of his health, and if you know how the prison is run, it's not a place for a person who has like people like who are wealthy. They have the best medical treatment, especially if they're sick. Like in the prison, they would be able to get the best medical help in the United States of America prison. So to make sure that they are taken care of properly in the Bahamas, they wouldn't be able to do that in our prison. But I mean, you break the law in the country, just like any other Bahamian, you should be entitled to the same type of treatment here in the country, regardless of your health. But it's an agreement that we signed with the United States of America where we really can't persecute American citizens. They are more like immune. So that's why a lot of people would come here, smuggle guns in the country, and get a slap on the wrist because our law really can't say, like, for instance, the Barefoot Bandit. Remember, he did all those crimes in the Bahamas, and he's supposed to get like 30 or 50 years in the Bahamas based on all the violation he broke in the Bahamas, right? He was what? Extradited. He didn't spend a long time here in prison. He was supposed to spend 30 years, but they are like treated like royalty. The tourists could come here and be able to show hospitality, like a slave plantation. But we're moving out of that. So yeah, it's real crazy, It's crazy in the country. So many people feel that, this is like because of the election. Why it is happening right now after the by-election, and why is this happening now? And when we question it. So it's a lot of questions out there, and a lot of people are not feeling the government right now. And this is going to cause a lot of people, Bahamian people who haven't voted or who haven't registered, to go to the polls now. I don't know who they're going to vote for, but I guess the Bahamian people judge on your character. And if you're lying to them, they feel that you're lying to them. I don't care how much money you get in your pocket or in the treasury. They judge you by that. That don't mean that you cannot succeed in winning the next general election. But if this keeps up with this kind of they didn't do a good PR job of explaining the migrants bill. You know, they just jump up and did it. They were supposed to address the general public on exactly what it was all about, explain the concerns of the Bahamian people, step by step, bring them to national TV, let the Prime Minister discuss it, let the opposition discuss it to see what's there going to be the response. Because what we're getting right now is we're getting a response from Mr. Johnson, who was the former Minister of Immigration. We get response from former Deputy Prime Minister Brent Simonet on his version. And then we have the Prime Minister, he giving his side on his version. We have the Minister of National Security, Van Monroe, he giving his side of the version. And then when we questioned, we saw that he came back and he gave a response. So in between that, it seems to us as Bahamians that you're relying on us with something. That's all we saying, you know. You're supposed to be straight up with us at first. Go on the nose, say we thinking about this bill. We want to see the response of the Bahamian people. Explain it, why we're going to table it, why we're going to pass it, explain to us what it was meant for. It was meant to go after traffickers and smugglers, but when it comes to that immunity part, that wasn't sitting well with us. Because we have an influx now and we are hurting in this country. And I think that the powers to be don't really see the connection and the outrage what the Bahamian people are feeling. You know, things are tough in this country. Things are hard in this country. You know, some people are living better than us in this country because they have more opportunities than a lot of us here in this country. Because what we have sold. We have lost our identity, you know, corruption, not from no one particular party. It's all around, you know, all around from top to bottom. Us on the streets, in the house, the parliament, to the church, to the prison, to the immigration department. And we in a sad state in this country. You know, for me as a person who lives in the inner city community, let me just say this to you. There are so much mentally ill people in this country today because they don't have nothing. They don't have no future in this country. If I was a person to record how many people come to me on a daily basis asking for assistance, and I assist as much as possible as I can, people. The demand out there is great. And this ain't just Bahamian people. These are Haitian young boys who live here in the country, who we known from they were babies, we know their parents, and we know them. They are part of the community. So I don't know how we're going to be able to deal with this because we are loving people, but in our inner city community, we have a mixture. We have a mixture of people who have papers, some don't have papers. And some we have become a fond of in our community. And we have a wide portion of that. Many of the businesses around the country in the Bahamas right now is owned by Haitian nationals in this country. Look on East Street, all the breakfast stalls. Look on Blue Hill Road, the barber shops, the mechanic stores, the repair stores. Look all around. One time ago, East Street used to just be pure Bahamian businesses with a few foreign businesses on East Street. East Street used to be like Bay Street. We couldn't wait for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday because everywhere on East Street had a business that was owned by a Bahamian or a foreign national, but the majority were owned by Bahamians. Blue Hill Road, the same thing. You got the Capitol Theater. You got numerous barber shops. You had appliance stores, convenience stores, chicken shacks, tailor stores. We had so many Haitian tailor stores in the country. The Haitians would really run the tailoring store. So they contributed as well. You know, you understand, they were part of the growing economy. Blue Road, the same thing. These were like Bay Street. Now, everything, you know, like, honestly speaking, you know, everything now, and if we don't find our way, right? If we don't try to find some structure on how we can empower ourselves, because they're here as well, so we have to empower them as well. It's crazy, you know, but we just don't want no more to come in the country on no boats, get no immunity or no tricks, like what the government is what the government got us thinking, okay, based on how they take back one of the causes owed the bill, you know. All the businesses now, you know. So we as Bahamians, you know, kind of wondering what happened to us. You know, a lot of us aren't hateful. It's just that it seems like we hearing what's happening in the U.S. and all that 350,000 is going to get deported from the U.S. So we're saying now with this bill, with the government pass, we thinking, you know, it's, you know, so that's all what's going on right now, you know. It's rough. We can play the next clip list. So the opposition leader, Michael Pintard, gave his response, and he is looking to repeal it if his government is elected on election day. I don't know what time election is going to be called, because I know Brave Davis, based on what he saw on the by-election in Michael, in Golden Isles, he should stench now, because we saw the outcry of the Bahamian people with this bill that they passed Monday. So this indicates, so you have to scratch, you know, we might see May. I don't know if they say in somebody's November, I don't know. So I think they're gonna have to scratch it to see how they can gain the trust of the Bahamian people again. I don't know if it can happen. I don't know. Right now, it's like we have listened to the opposition, we listen to former ministers, we have listened to current ministers of the government. We're hearing one thing on this side, and we're hearing one thing on this side, and we're leaning to more of what Michael Pintard, Lincoln Bain, and Mr. Simonet, them are saying, you know, what the government is saying, you know, like I say, it's just the way how they did it, you know. So we're going to play this next clip. So I don't know when the election is going to call. I know one thing, if I was the prime minister right now, I would hold on and call on election and see how best fit I could try and gain the confidence of the Bahamian people again, because there's a lot of people out there, and they're not trusting the government at this current time when they're dealing with these particular issues. Okay, we can play the clip.
That is party's live panel last night discussing the pitfalls of that smuggling bill. Free National Movement leader Michael Pintard said the FNM is under new leadership now, and whatever bills may have been drafted in the past are history.
There are some who wish to talk about this bill started under us. Interestingly enough, we didn't table the bill. We didn't pass the bill. So if they went in some archives, AKA the garbage, and they found something that was in draft, that's on them. The bottom line is they brought the bill, hid it from consultation other than to lay it in the House in the midst of a busy period. And then they passed the bill despite objections. And I say they know what they were doing. We wondered what motivated them. We are an improvement on our previous selves. So when they wish to respond to all that we may or may not have done in the past, we have no problems owning things that we've done or not done. But we are under new leadership, and get over it.
He reiterated that a government led by him will repeal that smuggling of migrants bill, which he said supports smuggling by providing legal protections for migrants who pay to be smuggled into this country.
Immunity of prosecution for persons found illegally in the jurisdiction, who they know entered illegally into the jurisdiction, persons who are found with fraudulent documents. And only under pressure from the people, they decided to remove it. And even when they remove it, it was with no conviction, because the Minister of National Security said, we could have left it in because there's no offense under the law. Flippant on this issue, that is casual on this issue, as he has been on many others. Yes, this is a bad bill, a bill that has been passed. And since we did not get them to kill the bill, to get rid of the bill, come election time, let's get rid of them.
Yeah. I don't know if that's going to gain traction for the Free National Movement. Like I said, it was a close contest in the by-election that happened in Golden Isles. I don't know if, like I said, after that I said, it was close. And I said if it's close, each member of parliament, each candidate looking to be the government or looking to be the next MP of a particular constituency that they are running for to try and be the next member of parliament, you have to be on your best behavior in this country, because politics has changed in the country. People want honesty. People want transparency. If we feel that you're lying to us, we're going to react. Look at previous leaders of the country and their attitude towards the Bahamian people. We can just look previously at the Free National Movement. Many people were upset with Dr. Minnis, because he had his lockdown and he was real, like Gestapo style, he was kind of like the Gestapo, Hitler, the inspector. And he knew we were coming with a tough time from the previous administration. And, all these administrations, we were always fighting for a better quality of life. We wanted employment, we wanted small business, we wanted better roads, we wanted better hospital. We want the minimum wage increase, probably to $600-$700, increase yearly by $100 or $150. So in the next 5-10 years, if we get the minimum wage to about, I'd say anywhere between $700-$800, or if we could get up to $1,000 for minimum wage in the country. That's our goal. Every year we want to see the minimum wage increase. If it's a year or 2 years, find the funds and put it in there. So we could get this minimum wage from $210 or what is $210 or $260, to see how we can keep on increasing it yearly, until we can get it, like I say, in a 5 or 10 year period where we get up minimum wage again. I repeat it, at least $7, $8, probably $1,000, and then we'd see some changes in the country. I don't know, like I said, we don't know who to trust in government. Besides, we just don't know. We just going by instinct now. Many Bahamians are just confused in the country. And like I said, there are many people in this country who are mentally ill, honestly speaking. There are so many people I talk to on a daily basis, and they are mentally ill. They look like they sound, but they are not. We get a serious crisis in this country. And I'm not just talking about Bahamian young people in this country. I'm talking about females. I'm talking about females and males and older person who are Bahamians, who are Haitian nationals, Haitian Bahamians who have no documents in this country, and some Bahamians who don't have no passport, no driver's license, no nothing. They are also stateless even though they're Bahamian in this country, because they just don't know where to go, who to turn to, because these communities don't have these structures. And then some people are illiterate, and then poverty also with the mind, and people living in these communities, they get lazy, they don't want to do nothing no more because they feel like there's nothing in the country for them. They don't know where to turn, to find work, to find inspiration, to be a creator of some type of business or some type of, people are just dead in this country, man. So many young people have potentials, but they just don't know where to turn. Let me just read this here about what's going on in my country. show you how tough things is in the country. See how suicidal feelings rising among young people, says doctor. Behavior against young Bahamian has continued to increase this year, with Sandlands Rehabilitation Center saying most cases among people in their late teens through their mid-30s, according to Chief of Staff Dr. Buha. He said that the trend had become increasingly evident across school age and young adult population. We see a lot in this younger generation, especially those starting in the late teens and going into the mid-30s. So it's like I'm saying to you, this is what I'm seeing on a regular basis, people. Our country is in crisis and our leaders. Even though the government is doing some good things in some good areas, if they're not looking at these small statistics right here, you're not going to get nowhere in this country. We're going to be finished because these are the next generation of people in this country, and they're stateless. I'm talking about Bahamian people in this country are stateless, okay? Stateless. Thank God for good people like John Bow, what name now? Walter Henschel. C.B. Marsh was doing such a great job for such a long time that he, because of his health, cannot do it no more. Nate the Great on Hay Street Park, who has been doing a tremendous job of giving back. Lenan Bahamas, which is doing an excellent job in partnership with myself on how we could help improve the community. So anyone who's doing any charity work in this country right now, you guys are the lifeline of your community, in every community that you guys are residing in right now. You know, the churches that are doing their back to school and their Christmas giveaway and Christmas present, you guys are also keeping us afloat. But listen, there's a lot of people in this country. I'm talking in Fox Hill, I'm talking on Baintown, I'm talking in Angliston, I'm talking Grunstein, Mason Addition, Fort Charlotte. Our boss is doing his best in that capacity. Him and Travis Robinson wiring for that seat, and etc. The ends are rough in this country, people. You know what I mean? And the statistics showing it. So if our leaders, talking, and the thing is, right, what bothers me most is that they talk, right? But there's a different generation down there that don't have the education that they have. So when they talking about these bills and stuff, of course we're going to exaggerate, but a lot of the people in the inner city community needs to be informed step by step when matters of concern of national issues in the country, so we get a good understanding in the country. We're going to play this next clip, and then we're going to take this call.
Listen carefully. Over $1 billion per year. Yeah, you can hear it again. Approximately $1.3 billion. According to UN, their statistics, 5% of GDP. About $700 million we lose annually to corruption. According to the IDB report, we lose another $100 million as a result of murders. And then according to reports, we lose about 16% of investment because of corruption. That totals about $1.3 billion. If we were to only manage or save 500 to 600 million of that, imagine we'd have more money for health, more money for education, more money for social services. We would possibly be in the position to reduce taxes as opposed to continuously increasing. These are simple things to do. Just as you are a law-abiding citizen, when you travel, for God's sake, enforce our laws.
That's because of corruption. You know what's to lose $100 million because of murders? And then he talking about certain percentage we lose because of corruption. That means a lot of companies want to do business with the Bahamas, but because of the corruption, they are pulling away from the Bahamas. So we were asking, sometimes we heard these deals were going on in Freeport, and then the government probably was saying these deals was done. But then when people start to, these companies around the world, they do a background check on the government, and they see if there's any corruption. And then they know that there are sanctions given out to companies that do business with certain governments around the world who deal with corruption. So they tend to move away from investing. So maybe that's one of the reasons sometimes we see the government say they have a deal done with a hotel, and then you see the opposition say, well, the deal wasn't done, or the coalition say the deal wasn't done, that it didn't come true. These are some of the reasons. And if we could get those investments and get rid of corruption and get murders down to about, if we could, under 50 in the next 10 years by doing redevelopment with the prison, redevelopment with the community, and major investment in education and empowerment in the schools and in the communities, building up the communities, fixing the houses, make sure the park is utilized year-round, make sure that the streets are monitored, that we don't have no abandoned cars, and maintenance. That's what I'm talking about. Upkeep, just like basically know the East or the West. So, yeah, I just want to, before I let the caller come in, I just want to say something real quick. I got a message saying, we complain about other migrants, but not the Chinese. How come? I think the reason we do that is because the Chinese don't put pressure on the Princess Margaret Hospital. I think the Chinese comes and they pay their taxes for their particular business that they have in the country. They are not in large volumes in the country, like, say, 50, 60,000, probably 100,000, or probably more than that. We have Indians here too as well. So I guess that's the answer I could give. They're not in the hospital, utilizing a hospital bed. The Chinese, they go to their own private hospital. They have their own association that they go to. They have their own embassy. So if they run into any type of problem, they have their own embassy. They have their own consulate office. The Indians as well. They utilize their resources. So I guess that's why we talk about the Haitian nationals. And I think they're really not talking really about the Haitian nationals. They're talking about those coming on the sloops trying to enter the Bahamas illegally. Actually, I think the Bahamian people want them to get their proper documents, but just that we don't want no other illegal immigrants coming to the country on a large volume, because we ourselves cannot handle it, because we're handling what we can handle here in the country. And you can see for us, it's not working for us right now in the Bahamas for us. We are at our lowest point right now. And it's not one government to blame. It's the government for the last 50 years, both PLP and FNM. They have drainage dry, and they keep on draining us dry. And this is what we get now. We are at our last, and we are fighting for our lives in this country. Go ahead, caller. You're on Inside in the City on Guardian Radio.
Hey, a pleasant good night, Brother Scrooge.
Good night to you, sir.
I hope you're doing well.
I'm fine, sir.
Good. Brother Scrooge, you mentioned earlier about the government, not doing enough or doing whatever they're doing. But, I must say that this government has initiated a number of so-called programs.
Yes, they have.
To target with youth and whatnot.
Yes, sir.
But like I always say, Scrooge, and the Prime Minister, I think he was in the paper a few weeks ago, and he was addressing the PLP Men's Breakfast, talking about the state of our young men. Right?
Yes, I'm going to, yes.
But, Scrooge, we have the National Youth Guard, we have the National Apprentice Programs, and all these other programs. But, Scrooge, it's not getting to where it needs to go.
Yes, sir.
It's not in the inner cities. It's not getting to those persons who, within our inner cities, who didn't complete their high school or whatever type of education. It's not reaching them. They don't qualify. And that is the problem. That we are just like throwing good money after bad in some regard.
Yes.
Because the people who and I'm glad that persons are benefiting, right?
Yes.
That these individuals, but the requirements and stuff that you need, a lot of it, like you say, some of these fellas in the city, they don't even have documents, they don't have passport, they don't have nothing. You know what I mean?
Nothing.
And the prime minister would him and they would get up off their air conditioned offices and walk the inner city and establish, like I keep saying in 52, bring BTVI into the inner city, man. Grab these fellas, them who are not doing anything, and train. There's something that they could do. And you train them, even if they have a racket or whatever, but don't just give them money to say to go start a business or whatnot, But we could change this thing. They got, they start up all kinds of things. They must be paying Michelle Malcolm must be $60,000 or more a year for what,
Wow.
And I have nothing against anybody being paid and what they're trying to do, right? But
Yes.
we need to reach the so-called unreachable, those individuals who are the dropouts, who don't have perhaps even the parents in their homes and whatnot. Because I know some people will say, the government often let them go and do it and so on like that. But a lot of these kids, they didn't grow up in a home where there was a father or mother or any type of anybody to even give them the kind of direction that they need, man. We could solve a lot of these issues. If people are working and they can, supply their daily needs and whatnot, even if it's buying dope, if they want to smoke dope and they ain't got a teeth and they could work and so on and so forth, that means that they ain't going to rob nobody.
Yes, sir.
I mean,
because you're telling reality. That's what it is right now. That's what it is. We have thousands of kids smoking dope right now and stealing. He's telling the truth. We're talking reality on the show. You right, good sir. So,
yeah. Listen, I mean, and I can tell you, ain't no use to be trying to stop people from smoking dope. Because, people, at the end of the day, only God could change them to make them say,
yes.
I can give up on this and whatnot. So we have to face the reality of what we're dealing with and see how we as a country can work along these. I mean, I don't encourage anybody to smoke dope because I never smoked dope.
Yes, sir.
But
you see it on a regular basis. You see it on a regular basis.
yes, like
yes.
you see it, and like I say, to each his own. You can only tell them if at the end of the day, the decision is there. But once they smoke their dope and don't harm nobody,
Yes,
you
sir.
smoke your dope and go whatever, and you go about your business. I mean, whatever you do with your life, that's on you.
Just make good decisions.
Yeah, that's your decision. But like I said, there are a lot more that I think these governments can do. They can bring, like we keep saying, bring BTVI into the inner city. Train these young fellas in plumbing and masonry and even air conditioning. Because these fellas, they can't find money to catch bus this way and to go
They
this
have
way
nothing.
or go on the internet.
They have
and
nothing.
Go on that and that.
They don't know nothing about them stuff.
They don't even
They don't know nothing about them stuff.
You see, so.
And I talking about vehemence. I talking about vehemence. And I won't even talk about the Haitian nationals who don't have no status in the country as well.
Yeah. But like I said, there's something that God put in them that they can do and make money out legally.
Yes, sir.
And we just need the person with the leadership to really go. And it's not everywhere. Only certain, we know the areas
Yes.
that are,
And that's where the majority of people live.
Yeah, we know where we need to target.
Bainton, Angliston,
and
Fort
we
Charlotte, Mason
yeah,
Addition,
see?
Camp
And
Road.
if they just concentrate on that, man, we I know that murders are down. I mean, I think 70. I mean,
You mean this year?
Yeah, it's about 80 or something like that. I'm not sure around there. But,
Yes, sir.
It's down from last year, right?
Yes, sir.
And I mean, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, there's a reason why it's down too. All those senior police officers who get locked up and bring them loads and all them other guys who get connected to that, that's why it's down.
Okay.
That's the reason it's down. I've been looking at this too.
Yeah.
That's the reason it's down. It's the reason down because the people to the top who was doing the biggest set of crimes in the country are held in custody now.
Well, I mean, praise the Lord for that then.
And the rest scared, running scared now.
We need to find some more then if that's the case.
That's what it is, sir.
But, and this thing, like I said, the minister, the attorney general, he talking about putting $300,000 fine on smugglers and whatnot. But what about the people who smuggle in these guns and these things like that? People who are found with all these.
And that's what smugglers does. Smugglers just don't bring human beings. They bring drugs. Because you know what the smuggler job is? A smuggler job is to make the most money as he can. He can bring those people, and he can also bring drugs and guns as well.
Right, yeah.
So it ain't just about smuggling. It's bringing the late night narcotics and firearm.
Right. But I don't know if this particular bill is dealing with that aspect of it. That they just dealing with so much.
They only talking smuggling, but smuggling, trafficking and smuggling, whether it's trafficking or smuggling, the boat captain, he will do anything he can because some people want to bring drugs. Some of those people who you smuggling in, they're bringing their stuff from wherever they left from, and they're looking to reach the destination.
Right. Yeah.
Okay? So that's what it's all about. This ain't just go with human smuggling. This go with drug smuggling
And gun smuggling.
and gun smuggling.
And
Yes.
I don't, like I said, but I don't know if this particular bill that they passed addresses the illegal gun smuggling and whatnot. Anyhow, Brother Scrooge,
Yes, sir.
listen, you have a good night, man. It's good to talk to you.
Thanks, sir. You always have a good conversation with us, and all the callers that calling as well. Yes, sir. Yeah. The caller talk about, we're in a serious crisis in our country. So let me read what the Prime Minister stated. And just not our young men, our young females as well, okay? Our young females are out of control, okay? Look what our young females we are. Now, I'm not saying this to be, I'm a man. And there are a lot of beautiful women out there. And some of the clothes that our females put on, some of the clothes that you fathers and mothers allow their daughters to be wearing in the streets, should not be acceptable because they're already beautiful. We can't be showing their bodies and their, because some of the girls, they beautiful and then they have these tight clothes and stuff like that. But I just saying that our girls are also out of control. They are becoming more like men, okay? Females nowadays are not feminine. They're masculine now, So they themselves talking about killing and starving and, man, listen, it's crazy out here, okay? So our males and our females are really, really, really in a serious predicament. So I just want to read this real quick about the Prime Minister said about our young man, and then I'm going to let the caller call. Prime Minister says, Prime Minister Brave Davis said, there is a crisis affecting young boys and men in the Bahamas. I came tonight prepared to join you in celebration, and I do, Davis said during an installation banquet of the Pride of Grand Bahama Lodge, November 7th on Saturday. He said he also came with something heavy in his heart. I did not want to let this moment pass without speaking plainly to you as a fellow Bahamian man, as a father, and as a grandfather, and as someone who has seen what's happening to our boys and young men up close. Are the females as well. Okay? Don't just talk about the boys. I want people to understand. Don't stop talking just about the boys. Now, no, the females are even wasting the boys now. Let me just tell you all this. Our females are wasting the boys. Okay? Look at the previous cases that gone before the courts. Our females, as beautiful as they is, some of them are some devils and they have no morals. Okay? They have no respect for themselves. And we have to teach them morals and have respect for themselves because they are beautiful and they are mothers. But corruption and not paying attention to what we need to pay attention to, our mothers, our females have gone contrary in this country. They're worse than the guys. They had set you up to get killed so fast. I don't care what you do for them, some of them, they'd switch on you. So they need discipline. They need to be shown love again. We need to simmer down our woman again in this country and make them more feminine again. Okay? Let them be our partners. Let's treat them with respect. Let's show them love. And let's uplift them as well in this country. Okay? It ain't just about the males, because the females bring the child in the world. Two of them combined together. But the female carries a child for 9 months. So she plays an important role on the population of this country. So let me just read this real quick. He says here, plainly to you, as a fellow Bahamian and as a father and grandfather, and someone who's seeing what is happening, there's a crisis amongst young men in this country. I feel my spirit before I read it in any report. I see it in the funerals I attend where let me go to page 5, excuse me. I can finish this real quick and come to your calls right now. Just give me 1 second. Let me see where you say that. Where it going? All right. Page 5. Page 7. All right. That's it. Oh, you see, y'all. He says, y'all, Jasper is so small, and he hear the tears are loud, and the mother keeps saying he was just starting to change, Prime Minister. He was starting to turn his life around. I see it when I visit the prison, and a young man barely in his 20s say to me, Mr. Davis, I never thought my life would come to that. And when I look at him, I do not see a stranger. I see a boy who was once in a school uniform, who once had a laugh, who once had dreams. I see it when grandmothers hold my hand and whisper, pray for my grandson, please. I am afraid for him. Then after the funerals and after the visit and after the private conversation, I sit with the statistics and they confirm what I already know in my heart. Fewer than half of our high school students leave school without diplomas. Only about 46% meet the maximum requirements. The rest leave school without the qualification that open the doors for illegal activities. Our boys and girls are represented in that half that slips away. Girls are racing ahead in the classroom. That is true. And girls are also racing ahead with how to kill you. They receive most of the top grades in the BGCSE at the University of the Bahamas. Women fill about 3/4 of the seats. You know why? Because we are killing man in this country. We're not giving them the opportunities that they really need to stand up and be man. Now the guys, them feel that they're less than the man. That's why a lot of them are Kong lampposts and a lot of them are mentally ill. And that's why the male population is dropping in this country and we're not seeing men. A lot of the guys on the street are not men. We're saying they're men. Some of them are still kids. Some of them 40 and 50 and they're still thinking like they're 15, 16, 17, talking about how much girls they're going to sleep with. They see one young girl who 16, 17. You done 50 and 40 and you ain't get a host. Now you won't go bother with a young girl who 13, 14, 15 because you know that the little girl ain't mature enough. You can't deal with a big woman. So you want to deal with this little girl. And when you're pregnant with this girl, you don't have no plan. You done race most 40 years of your life. Man and female I'm talking about. And that's what's going on in our society right now. When man's supposed to be man and stop preying on young girls instead of look for a woman, that structure who they teach how to be the woman or she's already a woman, we go together. No, there's a lot of taking advantage of in our country. It's because of poverty. Poverty. If our girls were given a fair opportunity in this country for them not to be persuaded and they know what to do and what decision to make in their lives before they even think about sleeping with a man or getting pregnant, if we give them the right resources and the right education, we'll see a change in this country. We're going to take these calls. Go ahead, call on you on inside the inner city.
Good evening, Mr. Brown. How are you?
Good evening. Good evening. I'm fine, sir.
I've been holding for quite a while.
Oh, sorry, sir. I'm sorry for that.
Yes, well, what has happened, Mr. Brown, is the moral fiber of our country is literally gone. It's not, and that is a critical thing. And so you don't have the common decency that I know of as a boy growing up. That is, everything has gone out of the window.
Yes, sir.
And this moral fiber of security continued to be diminished, and don't seem to be any return, no sense of return. Right? We can do a lot of things, but our parents, the parents of the day, has literally failed the children because in a whole lot of cases, their parents set examples for them while we were growing up, but they're not setting any example for their children. Yes. And so you have this vicious cycle going around now. Everything is the World Wide Web.
Yes, sir.
And so there's no kind of sense of, hey, listen, you need to understand the importance of education. I always emphasize education is the key to open doors.
Yes, sir.
Not just here locally, but abroad. You can't have a country that continue to have a D average. D average, and you say that's a pass. Listen, it's not. It's a failure.
Yes, sir.
I will never accept a person with a D if I'm doing some kind of employment. It's not going to happen. You got to be C or above.
Yes, sir.
We got to stop putting these standards down and build standard up. When you build standard, you set the right tone for the other generation to follow.
Yes, sir. Yes,
but
sir.
when you allow these standards talking about a D as a pass, no, it's not.
We get worse.
All right?
Yes.
And so our country will continue to go down this rabbit hole. Barbados, for instance, same population, right?
Yes,
but
sir.
the general public is more educated. Why? Because they see the importance of education. You understand?
You're right, sir.
And the leader put more emphasis on education. Yeah, see, because if you even want to be a good plumber, you still need to be able to do some things.
Yeah.
You got to be able to read and write.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so it's not so. And any way you look at it, education is still the key.
Yes.
You need to be able to read and write in order to be able to determine the measurement of a particular area, the circumference, and all that. You got to be able to do that.
Yes, sir.
I don't care how much they tell you, well, you don't got to be educated. Yes, you might not need to have any college degree, but education is still important.
So you still need to read the tape.
For 1 minute, I don't understand why more emphasis is in place on education. The schools, the teachers, all of them, they are very important. The foundation of your country is education.
Yes,
we
sir.
all have to be educated.
Yes, sir.
To be where we are today, all of us.
Yes, sir.
And so we cannot take that for granted. Well, the situation that you mentioned in terms of murders, we had over 3,000 murders in 25 years. That is astounding. Over 3,000. If we go and examine it thoroughly, I am frightened because we was averaging over 100 murders now for the past 25 years.
Yes, yes, sir.
And so if you do the math on that, it got to be over $3,000.
Yes,
3,000 murders.
Or more.
And imagine the impact that have on a small society like that.
And they said millions. We lose 100
You
millions.
understand?
We lose 100 million.
But guess what has happened, Mr. Brown?
Yes, sir.
Our politicians fail to do what is necessary. The Constitution is there. The information is clear. You need a vote in a three-third majority. All of the government has had that from Lyndon in 68.
Yes, you're right.
Even the Bahamas, the Yemen was always voting for one particular party. That party always gets more than 90% of the seats. So there's no reason why a referendum couldn't be held. But the problem with the referendum, it ain't coming from the people. And that's why all referendum failed.
Yes, yes.
If you put a referendum to people, even after the Privy Council made that ruling,
yes, sir.
You go to the people in a referendum and not overturn the Privy Council decision because it's we the people.
Yes,
who have to live in this destination.
Yeah.
All right? And so I'm tired of politicians hiding behind the Privy Council.
Yeah.
And until we get a politician and politicians to understand the importance of capital punishment, it's just what it says. It is capital, but it's a punishment for a crime you commit.
Yes. Yes.
That's what it really is. You know, they use these all kind of nonsense, but deterrent. Listen, I've been on all kind of constitutional debate
Yes, sir.
with the late Paul Ladley and McSweeney, former Attorney General, and all that. Listen, from '98, the key thing about this is that we've got to be able to bite the bullet, do what is necessary to bring about capital punishment, reduce this crime level substantially.
Yes.
Because when you can have people out for 3 and 4 murders, that you can't comprehend that.
Yes, sir.
Why should a man be on bail for 4 murders?
And he's responsible for more murders than that as well, because his accomplices who he hang with, they do other murders as well. So a person who comes over 2-3 murders, he don't just be responsible for 2-3 murders. He's be responsible for more.
I applaud the late Rodney Manka. Hanging must. Whether we decide they want to say is barbaric, but listen, we'll have to find another form of punishment, but we can incorporate that in our laws. That's what our legislators are there for. They're not to go to Parliament banging on the desk. Look, come to Parliament prepared to bring about change for good governance and something that will be in the best interest of this country. And so we have a whole lot of politicians walking in the halls of Parliament and have no idea of what is in the Constitution, more or less, as to what need to be done to bring about change.
And they don't enforce the law. I heard Minister said that the law, we don't need no immigration laws. The laws are on the book. We just don't enforce it.
Yeah, lack of enforcement.
We don't enforce.
It's a big problem in this country. And so if our politicians would do what is necessary, what we send them to do our business, this country will be a far better place.
Yes, sir.
All right? But I wouldn't talk for this bill, because this even ain't a bill. That shouldn't even go to the Governor General to be signed. That's garbage, okay?
Yeah.
That should have been, the mere fact that they had to literally take over a whole section out of that, tell you that was never ready to be debated in Parliament.
So that's why
that bill should have been removed and go back to the drawing board.
So you see, with the speculation coming from the BM and people when a part of that section was taken out, so you see why we're saying something fishy?
Yeah, but the bill itself is flawed.
Yeah.
If you go through the bill step by step, it is totally flawed.
Yeah.
And it makes no good sense.
Yeah.
All right?
And it's close election too.
And so therefore, the bill should not be accepted. And if they make it law, I will insist that the Bahamian people make the authorities pay for this. You must pay. You can't go to Parliament and bring about this kind of legislation that poisons and believe that we are totally ignorant. No, we are not. Okay?
You're right, sir. Just as a frustration to the people. Everyone is saying this is talks around town. Besides those who are involved in the political party and who just pulling for their party, this is nationalism and this is talks now. It's happening in our streets right now. And some of the people who are part of these parties are saying the same thing too.
People think this is about a party line.
No, this is national. This is national.
This is about the Bahamian people.
Protecting the country.
It's about our sovereignty.
Yes, protecting the country.
The Bahamas, if you enter our territory, I don't want you to come with tsunami, but whether you literally on land. You already entered the Bahamian territory. Once you are not international water, you in Bahamian territory.
Our system should take place.
You already committed a crime. You already entered the Bahamas.
Yes, the law of the land, not even the immigration law, the law of the Bahamas land should come into effect. We ain't even worrying about the immigration laws. We worrying about the law of the land that says you enter the country legally.
You come off a boat or plane and actually step foot on soil. No, nonsense. We got over 100,000 miles, right? A distance of Bahamas that's incorporated. The banks, all of the keys and everything is incorporated. And so once you come into the Bahamas territory, you would have already violated the law.
Yes, sir.
And so there are consequences as a result of your action.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, my brother.
Thank you very much, sir. You did a wonderful job. You did a wonderful job there. A lot of people are frustrated, you know. Like I say, it's government fault. People are going to react, and a lot of people are going to the polls just because of this. A lot of Bahamians, I'm hearing it, Bahamian people who have not registered to vote are getting registered to vote in this general election coming up, because they say they're not sitting by and let this happened in their country. I don't know who they're going to vote for. I think they're just going to vote for who they feel is lying to them or treating them unfair. The government is doing a tremendously good job on a lot of programs in the country, but I say these things that we're not paying attention to, the small things, are what could cost the government. I don't know what they're going to do to rebound. I don't know if they're going to call it early election. You can forget. I don't think they're going to call it early election. I think there's going to be a late election. The government is going to stench this as much as possible because they saw the outcome of the by-election. And with this topic now, oh, it's crazy. We're going to take this next call. We have a few more minutes. Go ahead, caller. Sorry for taking so long.
Yeah, I don't watch nothing. It's just
Hey,
the brother man.
hey, 52.
Yeah, bless up, Scoozy. But the thing is, this is why they allowed the numbers men to get into power to bankroll them. You see the reciprocity, right? I put you in power, you make the money, and then I come back with, I throw no gifts now. But the gentleman, he was talking about a whole host of things. But
Yeah.
I agree with him because, I did electrical and electronics, right? I had to do all kind of equations, voltage drops, resistance, calculating wattage, converting them to horsepower and converting them back to wattage. All these different things you have to learn, even with plumbing, diameters. It's all kind of things you need to learn. Flow rates. You see what I'm saying, Scooge?
Yes, 52.
So it's not to say a trade meaning a person must be dumb and stupid because some guys couldn't calculate wire sizes. There's a lot of things they just learn from just through repetition.
Yeah.
But anyone who says they've been in school and didn't get a D, they are a lie. I got D's, but it doesn't mean anything. I just continued educating myself, reading.
You just get smarter.
But I want the politicians in this country, one day, really and truly, I wish that I could see the day when they are sorry that they are politicians. I don't know about you, but I wish I could see that day. They need to put on their political gonads, right? And what is frightening for me, right, is that you have some political dupes. They call it talk shows. And I heard a guy said that we don't live in the world by ourselves, of course. But what I'm saying is, Scoogy, most people don't know the agenda of the United Nations, which is very clear, The agenda of the United Nations is very clear. See, it's a misnomer. The United Nations sound good because it's a United Nations, but really and truly it's not united. What it is, it's designed to get nations to conform. You heard the Prime Minister said they were pressured.
One world government. One world government. That's what they want.
Yeah. So what happens now? These bills are geopolitical impositions, Scoogy.
Yes.
All right. Now, here's what's disturbing me, my brother. All right. The PM seems to be suffering from cognitive dissonance because he's saying one thing and doing the next.
Yeah.
Okay. He is on social media. People have them circulating with him talking with this guy called Big Move. I don't know him. I met him before. He's cool. But he was also passing disparaging narratives against him and saying what type this, that, new generation. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He should have been deported. I mean, we don't need animosity here.
Yeah.
Not knowing like how me and you go up in the city with Aisha and Beeman brothers.
Yeah. Right now, as we live in right now.
We don't need that, Scoozy.
No. Right now, as we live right now.
And then we see, Scoozy, we got plenty brothers who born here. We know these.
Right there, right now, our community, right now.
We know there's our brethren.
Right now. Hundreds.
Yeah, but Scoozy, I can't be saying nothing wrong. You know what I say.
No.
I can come in here. I keep saying it, but I got to see you.
All right,
so what I'm saying is, I like how you see every week you paint a picture of what's going on in the inner city. How many youths, man, you see standing on the corner, rejected.
Nothing. They don't know what to do.
Dispirited, right? Like and
busy body.
Give them room to see and watch and contemplate all type of manner of things. You see what I'm saying, Scoozy? And so it's very hurtful for me to see the country go down the stream. But when the PM talks, the PM said he didn't sign on. But you know and I know that there was no need for him to sign on because we are already overwhelmed with migrants.
Yes.
So he could have put that position, he could speak good. He could have put that position before the UN, Security Council, UN, General Assembly, whatever. I don't know how. I know there's 6 organs of the General Assembly, but I know in order to see what I'm saying, just go and Google the pros and cons of the United Nations, the pros and cons or the failures of the WHO and the United Nations. These entities, these non-governmental organizations, how people believe that they are so good in their intentions of
they want to destroy borders,
but they are not.
They want to destroy borders. They want to destroy the borders and
yes, but Scoozy, you're bright. I can show you the information. I told you guys on the report. I don't know if
then you want to see the page.
The desire, Scoozy.
I know it's good.
Scoozy, the desire is to get rid of nation states and nationalism. Nationalism is on the top. Right now, Trump is a nationalist, and he's taking pressure for it.
Yes, he's fighting against it.
You and I know we don't like everything with Trump doing, right?
But he's fighting against the system.
Yeah, but some things Trump is doing, and Trump have enough sense. He's not putting up with these agendas and things, et cetera, with these impositions like the LGBT and all these different things, et cetera, that's ungodly, right?
Yeah.
A lot of impositions, but I'm not here to judge anybody, but what is hurtful for me, Scoozy, is the fact that we see the PM talking about crime and young men disappearing. You and I could go way, way back, Susie. We could count brethren for decades who we missed, who got killed. Sometimes I sit back and I look at who will get killed, I get mad. Because these young men just going down the drain. But I want me and you to make good a list, you know.
Yeah, we could do that.
The same way the soldiers them on the wall in Washington, D.C., where being in the Memorial Park.
Yeah.
By the Abraham Lincoln Memorial.
Yeah.
That's the same thing what's going on here.
Yeah.
All right? We lose a lot of soldiers in the schools.
What? In my community, not saying cutting you off, my community, only me and Chucky, as a senior man who was the two gang leaders in that area, everyone else dead.
And that's why when people...
Everyone else dead.
People, but that's why I don't be into that. See, the young men, they can't absorb me into their BS.
Mm-hmm.
You see, but Scoozy, the shanty towns, the government knows that they are breeding ground for criminal activity, but yet we have the people on the radio talking about crime. When we know that on Dwight Strawn's show, the early part of this year, last year, the United Nations said there's no policing in the shanty towns. Yeah. I was on the Guardian radio. I can remember. I don't need no one to agree with me, you know. You see what I'm saying, Scoozy?
Yes, sir.
Now, we know we under a panopticon in the inner city. Right or wrong?
Yeah.
They all about harassing us on the corners and but they still wouldn't go and look at the people in the bush. You see, the shanty town is becoming a problem because you're not willing to integrate. Now, for me, right, I have a problem with them not being real with the human people. This smuggling bills. A smuggler basically wants to. Sometimes he tell the people jump in the water out. You know that, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So I want any government official to produce a fraudulent passport that they say fake passports, fake documents. I want to know how you. I want them to show me these things without the Bahamian insignia on it, because I don't know who smuggler gonna waste time to sell no one no fake documents without some complicit or some cooperation from someone in a government entity, whether it be the Haitian embassy down there, because I don't know what they have the embassy down there for when Haiti is in a dysfunctional state. I don't know the gang, the atrocities that took place in provinces in Haiti, right? The question is, why would the government, if the government see the violence in the provinces, raping women, killing people, and all these different things, why would you allow these people to come here unabatedly? Like, then you could run on with xenophobia. Nobody embarrasses their community. They only embarrass the Bahamian community, and we paying the price when you have social follows in the hospital and the schools, but nobody must say that. You heard the show on the young doctors them yesterday with Dr. Pinto. When they told you, they see the fallout, the financial fallout to the hospital.
Yes, of course.
Services. That is coming from
their
heart.
Vegan crowd.
We paying taxes and the government telling me, and you got this guy has come on and he's mitigated. I don't know who he is, but I mean, he's embarrassing. He's telling people they don't read, but I don't think he's read. But he only read politics. But they only contribute to politics because he don't understand how the United Nations work. A lot of people believe the impositions by the United Nations are all good. You know,
no.
they are not. You have to go and read. I asked, because how long I saw the report from Iron Mountain.
Yeah. You want to see Trump is talking about the United Nations? You see Trump is talking about the United Nations? Even Trump is talking about the United Nations.
Things, you know.
Trump is saying things about the United Nations and all.
Yeah, and the WHO.
Right. Why he ain't giving no money? Why with the COVID-19 too, he talked about that as well. Why he ain't giving no finance?
You remember someone sent the text that they said they should vindicate Trump in 52?
Yeah.
Somebody sent the text because you know what I'm saying. But now what happened is the same caller, the guy who just called, I like his contributions, but he was one of the people who say stop 52 from coming on the radio.
Okay, I can't remember.
No,
50.
I remember him. He was his voice.
Okay.
I remember his voice.
I can't
he
remember.
was one of them. I don't care. Listen to me.
No, I can't remember.
You all need to stop 52 from coming on the radio. Wait. So he is hearing the truth and didn't know it either.
Yeah.
So that's what's so for me. But Scoozy, what does it tell you? If I have to walk over someone to bring the truth, what does it mean, Scoozy?
Well, you see, it was the truth, you know.
He would never apologize. He would no one. See, he facetiously apologized to me on the radio, but because I was a non-funded, non-pundit, right? I didn't deserve any credence for giving my people.
You did a wonderful
job.
job.
People reach out to me and tell me if they'd listen to me, they was going to take the vaccine because they realized they was insane.
Yeah.
Some of them even lined up for boosters.
What happened now?
Yeah, but you know, they disguise ingredients, they disguise this adverse events, they disguise the effects. But you can go online and see all these different things.
You did a wonderful job, man, of informing the Bahamian people.
God help us in this human journey, Scoozy.
Yes.
I want you to keep up your works.
Yes, sir.
Keep up your works, brother.
Thank you very much, brother.
Yes, sir.
You did a wonderful job, you know, and everything you said was true. You know me, I followed it up. I just believe in God, and I feel that if the world is telling you should do something, and God tell you if you believe in Him, you know, you should not fail. You know, He say a man of God should not fail, and then we got put fairness. We don't take this shot. What is going to happen to us? We are pastors, we are politicians. Tell you take this shot, but if you're strong in God and God tell you these things. And He tell you that the greens means the bush that would protect you. In Genesis, He talk about the greens. He talking about the soursop. He talking about the mango leaf. He talking about the beets. He talking about all the greens we eat. He said that is the healing of the nation. So there's nothing physical on this earth that man has created that God cannot cure with the greens. And we, as a country, some of us who as leaders, forget about God and carry a lot of people sheep and wool clothing to go and take the shot. Now we are seeing reports all over the world of blood clot and people falling down dead in the Bahamas and around the Caribbean and around the world because of the complication of the COVID shots. We are seeing Dr. Fauci being questioned by the Senate. The Senate destroyed him. Now, we don't have no COVID-19, So to show you that we, who were in the media saying do this and do that, we had guys like 52, myself, and a few of us who were out there saying, man, it look tricky. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Have faith in God. And you see, the truth came out. And it was true. It was a hoax. Yeah, well, it was. But we had natural healings. And some of the stuff they put inside the injection. And then the booster. It was crazy. So just for those who take it, use your herbal remedy. Use your herbal bush. And tin in your blood. So use some cayenne pepper, plant some cayenne pepper, grow those to tin in your blood, because we have a lot of blood clot issues with persons who have the COVID-19. And if a person's who have a blood clot, mix ginger and cayenne pepper. Fish can dilute your blood so that you don't have blood clots in your body and clean the arteries. Go online and look it up, okay? There are natural healing remedies out there that you can heal yourself. Onion and all that stuff is good for you, the human body. I want you all to be encouraged. Just look at the American healing book or the Jamaican healing remedy book and use some cinnamon, garlic and stuff like that for your tea and stuff like that, early in the morning. Drink some cinnamon tea, some garlic tea. And for those who have worms, the best parasitic cleanser is clove, okay? Cloves you see in the store. Drink some clove tea every day. Steep it at night. These are things that get rid of parasite because the number one disease in the human body is the common cold. And it starts, in your stomach. All diseases start in your stomach. And the colon is where everything develops. The food we eat, the meat and stuff like that we eat, stays in our body and it rottens in there. And if you don't pass it, and if our colon is not clean, that's where all diseases start in our gut. So please, go read, okay? So that's our show for today. I always like to end on a positive note. I'd like to say thanks to 52. To all the callers, my friend Elroy say, if the same bill is going to protect barbecue in Haiti. So he said that, all right? So a wonderful show to all the callers. To our leaders, again, this is the talks in the country today about this bill and how the government tried to fool the Bahamian people. Despite the government doing a great job in investment in Cat Island, Exuma, and in the Bahamas at large, they're doing some great things now, trust me. But this overshadows everything, okay? This could bring a lot of Bahamians out who have never voted, who have not registered to vote, are going to the polls to vote. And I guess if the government don't shape up and try to gain the trust of the Bahamian people, if they could, I don't know. I don't know if the coalition is going to win the election. I don't know if the FNM is going to win the election. I don't know if the PLB is going to win the election. All I can say, it's going to be close. It's going to be a nail biter. Okay? So I'm your host, Valentino Brown, host of the talk show Inside the Inner City. From every Friday at 6:30 to 8 p.m. To all the callers, you guys did a wonderful, wonderful job. Okay? And I'll see you next week if God spare life. And enjoy and take care of yourself. Listen, your health is the most important thing in your life, okay? So eat healthy. And then if you have some high blood pressure, diabetes, and you get cancer and stuff like that, listen, you don't have to go under the table. Use some herbal remedy. And just be consistent, people. All right? See you next week. God spare life.
Don't take no back talk, no bribe or no joke. If you find fire, you'll definitely find smoke. It on, bro. Boy, I from it on, bro.